There it is. All right. Apologies to anybody who may be waiting on me tonight. I had some technical challenges and was trying to get that all sorted out. So thanks for bearing with me. I was trying to get fancy and do some new OBS style control of the live stream, and I thought I had it all tested and working, and nope, don't. It was gonna look so good too. You guys should have seen it. Hopefully next time on the next live stream. Let me just copy and paste this link really quick and send it back to Facebook, because I would try to invite some people through Facebook, and now that link that I sent them was, no good. So let me copy that. Bear with me 1 second, guys. We'll be going live in a moment. Okay, I think I fixed that link for the people that would like to join through Facebook. Again, thanks for your patience and hanging in there with me. This is new to me, and I love it. It's exciting, but it's new to me. All right. We are live, and I'm very excited to be here tonight. Oh, Andre's here. Hey, Andy. I turned off our music. Thanks for joining me, man. And I'm sorry I'm late again. I apologize. I was all set to go and had all my software set up, this OBS streaming software, and it was going to look really good. And then I went to try to go live, and it said, error, you're not connected to YouTube. So clearly I don't exactly know what I'm doing yet with trying to use third-party software, but I know how to hit go live on YouTube. So thankfully I'm able to do that. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Hang out as long as you want. This is pretty casual. I do have some stuff that I'll go over and just kind of review last couple of videos of this past week and just kind of talk and everything. But yeah, basically we just hang out, and after I'm done kind of reviewing everything, I'll go to like a Q&A thing for anybody who's hanging out in the chat. All right, so it's about 8 p.m. In the US and Canada Eastern time, and I believe 8 a.m. in the Philippines. So wherever you are, wherever you're joining from, welcome. Kamusta kayo? Kamusta po kayo? And yes, 8 a.m. Andy says. So it's nice to try to connect with people all over the world, no matter where they are, be it in, the US and Canada. Australia, I think it's like another hour and a half earlier in the morning or something. So it's like 9:30 or 10:30. I think the only people that really lose out this time of the broadcast is Europe, because it's like, really late over there. It's like another it's another 6 hours. So it's like, what would that be, like 2 a.m. in Europe right now? So I don't know how many people would be up watching me at 2 a.m., but you never know. Anyway, welcome to Kevin's Philippine Adventures, the live stream. This is just something fun that I'd like to start doing a little bit more regularly, because it's a way to connect with people, with the community, they call it, and also just a chance for me to talk about videos that I posted this past week. And so many times I post a video and then I think about something else that I wish I would have added to it after I already made it, edited it, posted it, and I go, wait a minute, why didn't I say this? So the first part of this live stream is just going to be me talking about kind of like an overview of last week's videos and themes that I touched on and that sort of thing. And those two videos were, one was called Philippines, a love story with the ocean, which was really fun to do. And I got to walk on the beach there at Uzi Beach in Darwin or Bacong, and talk about how much I fell in love with the ocean in the Philippines and all the tropical colors and the fish and and even some of the dangers. So anyway, that was a fun one. And then the other video that I did, which is unrelated but still about the Philippines, was my adventures with fireworks, firecrackers, and that was a fun one as well. Channel news, life news. Not much has changed since last week. Again, it's no secret. I'm actually back here in the US right now. I'm here looking for work, and hopefully I'm going to be having a busy summer. We'll see. And I'm just going to hang out here for several months as I work on saving up funds to return to the Philippines, because that's where I want to be. So that's what's going on right now. And we had Easter here, Easter all over the world. And I don't know if you're practicing Catholic or a Christian, but for many, many people, millions of people, billions, Easter is a very important holiday and a big one for them. And I think it was a little bit bittersweet for all of the Catholics out there, all my Catholic friends, because we lost Pope Francis, who passed away. So that was kind of a big headline. I said, oh man, saw that on the news, saw that on my phone, and he got to lead one more mass Easter, and that was his last. So kind of sad. So kind of a bittersweet Easter weekend, but otherwise I hope other people had a good time meeting up with family and just spending time together. I got to be with my sister and her family here in Savannah, and we had an Easter meal together. We had our service in the morning, and then an Easter meal afterwards. So that was a wonderful time being with them. Okay, moving right along, we'll go into our main topic segment of the live stream, and that is just reviewing the videos that I posted. And by the way, guys, I'm so happy to say that some of these videos are really having a strong reaction with people, and people are watching it. The view counts are going up, at least, especially on some of them, and some of them kind of pop. And I will stop short of saying that they went viral, because I don't know. For me at my channel at this point, going viral is I feel like requires a lot of large numbers, but there's definitely outliers. There are videos that seem to do really well. The love story with the ocean, as of right now, I think I just checked it. It's got over 100 views, which I think is great. You know, all these YouTube gurus that I follow that give you advice on how to run your channel say, imagine that you decide to give a speech to a room, a big room, and 100 people show up and listen to you talk. That's pretty cool, right? I mean, it could be zero. So to have 100 people like what you're talking about, even if it's just for a few minutes before they go, this is boring, I'm leaving, I'm going to another room. That's pretty cool. So I think anything with 100 views or more at this point, and how small the channel is and how much it's at this stage that it's growing, is really cool. So, and of course, I do love the ocean. I love diving. And in that video, I talked about how I started with very little knowledge of the ocean itself as a little boy going to the Philippines. And my understanding of the sea or the ocean was just this big, gray, dark, cold water that we had in the Pacific Northwest, you know, because our family is originally from Oregon and Washington state in the US. So when we would go to the beach, it would be a giant, big, long, stretched out sandy beach and very cold water and kind of dark. I just remember it being dark blue or dark brown water. And it wasn't really like always something that you would look forward to swim in as a kid. It was like, oh, it's just so cold. And then we would see surfers, you know, but the surfers had on their thick millimeter wetsuits to keep them warm, keep their body heat going. And they would get out there and try to surf. And you know, but as far as like, hey, let's go swim in the ocean, or let's go snorkeling, that never happened. Not from our family. So, but it was nice to look at and listen to and smell the sea air and see the birds flying and all that stuff, and even the sandcastles probably, but not getting in the water and enjoying it. So everything changed when I went to the Philippines, when our family went to the Philippines. And some of our fondest memories as a family were all getting together in our big Isuzu pickup truck and going to a beach resort. And for our family, typically that was on a Monday, because my dad didn't have anything to do that day. It was kind of like our family day off. And he was always busy, of course, on Sundays with church responsibilities. And Monday was that day to kind of relax and take a well-deserved rest. So we were in Lipa City, we were in Batangas City. Shout outs to Lipa and Batangas. And typically we would go to a resort somewhere in Batangas, somewhere around there. And so I had a lot of uh, time to discover what the tropical, beautiful, colorful, warm water ocean was in the Philippines. And I'm sure it blew my mind because, this is uh, how many, 40 over 40 years ago. So it's hard to remember my initial reaction, but I'm sure it was a wow because you go to a colorful place like a nice reef and go snorkeling in the Philippines, and it's just amazing. And I said in that video, it was kind of like Finding Nemo because it was. And there was also dangerous things too, though. Like I do remember accidentally stepping on a sea urchin and one of those little spindles like going into my foot, and that broke off, and it was really painful. And so there were things that you had to be careful of, little jellyfish, sharp corals and stuff that just you didn't know. And so a lot of my time swimming when exploring was watching out for dangerous things like that as well. um yeah, and the other thing that I remember, and I talked about this in the video, was the fear of the infinite deep blue in front of me. And I had that mask on, that snorkel mask, and I used to be afraid to look out into the infinity of the deep blue because it just scared me. It was funny. And looking back, I wonder, like, well, you're not afraid to look up at the blue sky, and what if a bird were to come out and attack you? But it's not the same. If the movie Jaws had just come out, what was it, 7 years prior, and not that I saw Jaws as a kid, but I just remember being afraid of what was out there, big fish and sharks and anything that a kid's mind could magnify their fear. That those kinds of things frighten me, so I just wouldn't look out into the deep blue. And I don't think I mentioned this in the video when I was filming it, but when I finally learned how to scuba dive in my mid to late 20s, I'll never forget jumping into the ocean with all my scuba gear on and turning and looking out into that infinite deep blue again, just to see if I was still afraid of it. There was a moment there when I was like, let me test this out. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. It doesn't bother me at all. And sometimes when you're diving, you actually end up, with the help of your gauges and your dive computer, just sitting and just resting in infinite blue all around you. Like you really can't see up. I mean, you can see up and down. You can see up and that there's a surface up there, but almost 360 everywhere you go, you just see blue or dark blue, and you just get used to it. And you hang there and you do like a safety stop, for example, and you just watch bubbles go up, or you look at your buddies and see what they're doing. And so not only did I get over that fear, thankfully I eventually learned to embrace it. Let's see. I mentioned my older diving vlogs and the videos that are on the channel, and specifically Balikasag Island, which did really well. I was surprised, and I think it's still getting views. For some reason, people like to type that in, probably in a search field, and look up Balikasag Island. And to this day, I really hold that high as a standard of some of the best diving I've done in the Philippines. And I'm not done exploring the Philippines, guys. There's a lot more places. In fact, I asked that at the end of the video. I said, where did you go to experience the ocean? But for me, Balikasag so far has been like the best. I was like blown away because it was some of the stuff that I saw that I just had never seen before. And I mentioned this, but the electric clam, or whatever it's called, was just a large clam and the mouth would open and slightly, and then inside was this electric blue line of static that was going across, and I was just blown away. And I got my camera right up there, and it flashed a little blue lightning bolt or whatever it is, and I was just like, wow. And I remember thinking, there's 3 dives on that in that video, combined into one video, and it was overcast and a little rainy that day. And I remember thinking, man, if it was like there was sunlight, and the water was even brighter, how much better would that place had looked. So I think I got to go back to Balikasag because it's not that far from me in Dumaguete, and go back and appreciate that place again, and film some more. And I remember filming in 1080p, and now I wished I had filmed in 4K because I've been trying to do all my videos in 4K. So uh, that place was very special, and for some reason that video still gets a lot of views, and maybe again because people are seeking it out. They're saying, "Hey, what's the diving like in Bali Kasag? Let's go to YouTube and type that in." So they are. Let's see. Another thing I talked about is the how the ocean needs protecting. And let's see. Yeah, and I was focusing, I think, more on my particular geographic area, but I'm pretty sure this is all over the Philippines. They have an organization called Bantay Dagat, or Ocean Guardians, or Ocean Guards, and they do their best to try to enforce the laws protecting nature there. And I talked about it in the video, but yeah, it's something that's just forever going to be needed, right? Is we've got to look out for the ocean and protect it because it's all we've got. And if we keep putting more and more garbage and pollution and overfishing and all these things into the ocean, then we might lose it, you know. And so many things are happening to the ocean that affects us that I think it's like a ripple effect, right? And we don't realize it. From the smallest thing where you dump something into a small stream, like, I don't know, car engine oil or garbage or trash, and then that stream flows down to a bigger stream and then eventually lets out into the ocean. And now the ocean has that garbage. And again, not to be a downer, but it's like I'll never forget the times that I visited Corregidor in 23 and uh, early 2024. And on the north part of that island, all of the garbage and trash from Manila and different places in Manila Bay washes up onto the shore there. And I took a picture and posted it. Oh no, I took a picture and I included it in one of my videos about Corregidor. And I was sad to do it. I was like, man, I don't want to show this picture, but like you can't even stand on the sand of the beach because of all of the plastic and wood pieces and chinelas and just everything you can think of. I mean, I remember saw like hospital garbage, like a syringe, and I was like, "Oh, you were kidding me!" Like, it's not. It wasn't even safe to walk. So it's sad. It's sad, and we got to do our part, whatever we can. And I think I even mentioned the going as far as the reef safe sunscreen. You know, I got a special bottle of, because apparently there's chemicals in sunscreen that when you put it on and lather it on or spray it on, and then you go snorkeling or diving, that those chemicals from the sunscreen can damage the reef. And it's like, oh man, really? Why does it have to do that? But they make reef safe sunscreens that you can put on and that help protect the reef. So yeah, let's try to do that, guys. Let's see. Oh yeah, I just asked the question in that video. I said, do what you can to protect it. And where is your favorite place to go visit the ocean? And I got, I think, one comment that a nice person responded to my question, actually watched the video and actually listened to my question, which is always nice. And they answered Panglao, which is Bohol, which is Bali Kasag. So that's really cool. That was the first place they mentioned, was Panglao, which is where I got on the boat to go to Bali Kasag. So, and then they said Puerto Galera. Oh, that's cool. Puerto Galera is in Mindoro, the island south of Batangas, and I've been there and I've dove there as well. And they also mentioned a place called 100 Islands, or 100 Islands, and that is a place that I don't think I've ever been, or if I did, I was a kid and I just don't remember. But I do remember people talking about that even back in the 80s when we were there, saying, "Oh, you should go to 100 Islands or 100 Islands. It's really beautiful there." So maybe I'll have to add that to the list. Thank you to the person who left that comment as well. I appreciate it because you're giving us ideas of places to go. Let's see. Oh, and then finally, people loved the underwater footage that I got. So I'm so glad. I think I got a comment about that that said, thanks for posting and sharing the underwater footage. And what a payoff that is, right? Because you're talking about the ocean and I'm just walking down the beach, but I'm not visually showing you what it looks like. So at the end, I put in several minutes of just footage of me snorkeling. And again, that is the House Reef right outside of Darwin, where Uzi Beach is. Or is it Bakong or Darwin? Someone correct me. They're right next to each other. So it's right in there somewhere. But the resort is called Uzi. And you don't have to get into a boat to find that stuff. It is just right there, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it's a gift. It's a treasure, and it's one of the reasons why I love the Dumaguete area so much. And I talked about that in that other video, which seems to be doing really well. It's got over 3,000 views, and it's just the title is something about why this tiny town is so popular with retirees. So I talk about the ocean and the diving as being one of the big reasons, and Apo Island and stuff like that. So that was excuse me, that was a fun video. And yeah, again, I'm concerned about the quality of the water and it staying clean and not being overfished. And there's places in the Philippines, unfortunately, that still have dynamite fishing. And then I heard about one called cyanide fishing, which I think I talked about in the video. I'm like, oh man, what are we doing, guys? Like, and it's complicated. Every issue always is, and there's no easy way to just say, oh yeah, I'll just stop doing that. It's very complicated. I understand, and there are people who make their livelihood from fishing, and the ocean is a source of livelihood for them and income, and they've got to do what they've got to do. But we can, whoever we are, whoever's watching, we can do our part, however small, to try to protect the ocean. So okay, and then my my next video that I shared this past week rather, was a fun one, and it was called Boom: My Adventures with Fireworks in the Philippines. And really, this video probably would have been better timed in the like around the time of New Year's, Christmas and New Year's, because that's when fireworks, are really the most popular. I don't know if there's another time of year in the Philippines where they uh, put off as many fireworks or light as many firecrackers. And I think it's almost always centered around New Year's. And that's what my story was about when I posted the video. Was I was talking about my experiences as a teenager going around our neighborhood and collecting all these fireworks after New Year's, because they were just littered all over the ground. And it is true. It's a true story. I did make a little cannon out of the parts and pieces laying in my yard, and then all the gunpowder that I was able to collect. And it really did go off, and it really did shoot a bunch of pebbles out of it. And it was very real and very dangerous, and something that I cannot advise anyone to ever do because of just how dangerous it was. But these are the things that can happen when you're a teenager. So you do crazy things and sometimes dangerous things, but fortunately I didn't get hurt and no one else got hurt. Yeah, and there are a bunch of different kinds, and I only touched on, I think, like the ones that were triangle shaped, the little stars. But someone commented on that video and reminded me that there were other kind of famous or infamous types of fireworks, and I don't know if they're still making these, but hopefully not. But one was called the Super Lolo, and that name like sounded familiar to me. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. And that was a big loud one. And then another one was called the Judas Belt, and that was a string of firecrackers all strung together into a belt of sorts. And you would light one end of it, and then it would go down the line, go down the belt of and just make a ton of noise, almost like a machine gun firing, like fully automatic, just tons of noise. And so that was interesting, being reminded about those particular fireworks. And thank you again to the viewer who left that comment and reminded me, because I'd kind of forgotten about that. But yeah, the other point in that video was that a lot of people get hurt by playing with these fireworks. And it's not just kids, it's adults too, especially when they're mixing alcohol and fireworks. And that story I told about the guy who had a cigarette in his mouth and he was smoking and he was using it to light the firecrackers. Well, the story was that there was a guy who did that, but he was drunk and he forgot which one was the cigarette and which one was the firecracker. So he put the firecracker in his mouth and then threw the cigarette. And then, of course, it went off. So these are the kind of terrible things that can happen every year. And I just hope that they're happening less now, because I feel like I remember the Philippines enacting more stricter laws about these firecrackers and how dangerous they could be. And I remember on the news, see, this is one of those things that's coming back to me that I didn't talk about when I shot the video, was they would show pictures of kids in the hospital. Maybe it was footage from that year, maybe it was footage from the year before, with mangled fingers and stuff, and basically just a little bit gory pictures to scare families, parents and everybody, and say, listen, don't let your kids or your family, mess around with these firecrackers. They're dangerous. And I do remember that happening on the news, that them sharing that footage. So they were just trying to protect people. as much as they could. And I do remember the fireworks plants, the facilities that were making them, occasionally catching on fire or going up in flames because of all the firecracker materials, all the gunpowder and stuff that was laying around in this factory. But yeah, let's see. The cannon was fun to make. Again, it was very dangerous, but it was really fun. And again, influenced by a lot of things, watching Bugs Bunny cartoons, Looney Tunes, and seeing them play with cannons. And then who knows, maybe my experience of going to Corregidor and seeing all the big guns on Corregidor Island. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna make my own small little cannon. So that's probably why I was messing around with that. And it's also why we all got to be careful every New Year's. Let's see. We got Dumaguete Rentals says, hi, Kevin. It is Mike and Janet here. Oh, wow. Okay. So Mike and Janet, but not on their Mike's Philippine Retirement channel. It's Dumaguete Rentals. Wonderful. Well, I'm so glad you joined the live stream. Thank you so much for all your support that you've been giving me. I really appreciate it, to me and Angie. And it's been fun growing with this channel. I was trying to use a third-party software on this live stream and have a more fancy graphics and stuff like that. But right as I was going to start the stream, there was like a technical difficulty, a communication issue with the software and with YouTube, and it didn't work. So it was supposed to look fancy, but I'll try to get it working for the next live stream. But meanwhile, I'm just happy to be here, to be going live. So thanks for joining. Stay as long as you want. No rush. No rush. No pressure to stay for the whole thing, but it's just happy that you're here now. Let's see. So that was about it for the reviews of the 2 videos. And again, I'm sticking to my schedule so far of 2 per week. I just feel like that's a right pace for me. And these videos are all stacked up, ready to be they're scheduled and they're automatically releasing and posting. And oh, Mike's Philippine Retirement is also watching. Wow, you guys doubled up on the view count. Thank you thank you so much. You guys are too kind. But yeah, the videos are stacked up, and right now I'm almost all the way through the end of May with all the videos that are stacked up, and then I'll keep creating more because I'm here in the U.S. now. But I'll keep making more and adding those in. But 2 per week seems to be about my rhythm that I feel good about. And so what I'm hoping is once a week, maybe Sunday nights or Mondays like this, I can do a live stream and just sort of do a recap of what happened that week and expand upon themes and things like that. So that's the plan for now. And as always, things will evolve if I get feedback or data or whatever that tells me that I should adjust something. Or I remember it was funny, YouTube and the analytics or whatever said the best time for you to release a video or a live stream is between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, what time zone though? 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. for who? Because I'm in 2 different countries and I have viewers from around the world. And so I thought that was funny. But I think what it means is the local time that I'm in. So my 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. US time is flipped 12 hours for the Philippines. And that would be their 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So that's what YouTube thinks I should be posting my videos to in live stream. So maybe I'll try that and see if it changes the numbers, the analytics, if you will. Let's see. The other thing that I would say on this live stream is that I have a section here called What's Coming Up Next. And that's an opportunity for me to give a little teaser about what is coming next on the channel. And so I do have a couple videos coming up next week that I can give you a kind of a sneak preview about. Oh, I'm releasing them on, let's see, in the US, it's Tuesdays and Fridays, I think. Or is it Wednesdays and Saturdays? Oh, I think it is. It's Wednesday morning and Saturday morning. So I am following that YouTube advice, which is Philippines Wednesday evening and Philippines Saturday evening. So those are my schedules for now. And so Wednesday, you will see one called something about my parents almost got carjacked by the NPA. And that's a true fascinating story about how they were stopped by soldiers in the middle of the night coming back from Manila. Again, this is in the 80s when the NPA was at the height of their strength, their numbers, and were everywhere. And they were setting up checkpoints, sometimes on the highway or the road. And for some reason, my parents were coming home on the wrong time, wrong place, wrong day, and they were stopped by some soldiers that they were convinced were MPA. So that was an interesting story. That one's going to come out on Wednesday, and then on Saturday I'm going to have a video called, oh, this is almost embarrassing. On Saturday, the video is about the time that I was a male model in the Philippines. And before you start thinking what you might be thinking, this is like for a print ad. Okay, so this is like you go to a photography studio, and I got to model some clothing for a print ad, and the video is all about that, and all about also how my sister and I were both discovered in a mall, and and signed up to a talent agency. This is when we were, oh gosh, preteens or teenagers. And my sister did most of the modeling, and I would just tag along sometimes, but I did do at least one print ad shoot, and this is a video about that. So that should be funny and interesting. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't want to get into it too much here because I'll talk about it next week when it comes out, but it's a fun story. And yeah, the things that happened to me and our family when we were growing up were just wild, and that's why I love sharing these stories. And I know not all of them resonate, and not everybody, can get excited about them because they're subjective or whatever. They happen to me and they happen to our family. But when I think back and we talk about some of the crazy things that happened, like the video I already released about stumbling onto the set of Oliver Stone's Platoon. I mean, that is just so cool. So it's one of the reasons why when I started revamping my channel and changed the name and everything, the place that I started, the base point was, let me just at least tell some stories, before I go down the road of whatever expat advice or stuff about Dumaguete. It's mostly, excuse me, just going to be focused on telling stories about things that happened to me when I was growing up. And again, some of them seem to be resonating more than others and doing better than others. But as the channel proceeds and grows and evolves, I'll be fine tuning and adjusting the content of the channel. And I said this last week, and I'll say it again here, but my girlfriend Angie and I are very excited to eventually be doing some vlogs together, where it's a little bit more like adventure vlogging. I mean, the name of the channel is Kevin's Philippine Adventures, so just telling stories about things that happened to me when I was a kid. Yeah, it's kind of sort of an adventure, but it's not like like, hey, let's go on an adventure now. So we're looking forward to doing more of those kinds of videos once I get back to the Philippines and we get back into traveling and things like that again. So you'll probably see more content similar to the time that we went into the hot springs a month or two ago and things like that. And you'll see more of Higgy, our cat. She'll probably be in the videos as well. So anyway, that is what's coming up is next week are those two videos, the carjacked by the MPA and excuse me, almost carjacked by the MPA and being a reluctant male model. So we'll see how well those ones go over. And I mentioned this last week as well, but I'll say it again here for the new folks tuning in. But I did stop in Japan on my way back from the Philippines this time. I purposely stopped in Narita, Japan, and spent the night so I could explore during the next day. And it was great. It was so much fun. And while I was there, it was raining a little bit. It was a little chilly, but it was fun. I was happy to be there. I went out around and explored and tried some interesting food and stuff like that. And then I shot 2 videos while I was there. And the videos were still about things in the Philippines. The themes were about related to being in the Philippines and being a foreigner in the Philippines, and one was about karaoke. I'm giving a sneak peek now, but anyway, but I filmed them in Japan, in Narita, as I was walking around. So I'm very excited about those coming out. But in the schedule, the way that they're stacked up and scheduled is they're not even going to land until I think the 3rd week of May, like May 2021, somewhere around there. So yeah, they're they're not going to even show up on the schedule until almost a month from now. So that's pretty wild how far I'm stacked up. Anyway, that's going to do it for the recap of the videos and that segment and also what's coming up. And at this point in the live stream, I would love to switch it to viewer interaction, kind of like a Q&A thing. And that's where anybody who wants to leave a comment or ask a question or something like that, we can have a chat. And there's only a couple of you in here, which is totally fine. I'm happy to hang out with you guys. Let's see. Oh, Lady E is watching. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. She says, looking forward to your videos with Angie and Higgy. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's so nice that we included Higgy in these videos, and obviously it's against her will, right? Sometimes she's just a cat. She just gets picked up and scooped up, and we take her places. But I really think she has fun going out of the house. And there's a cute short that I put on my channel of her sitting on my shoulder. I think it's this shoulder, and she's just perched up there. Angie just sticks her on there, and she loves going on the motor with me and driving down the road. And she looks at everything, and her eyes are all big and open and studying the the sights and sounds. And then sometimes she'll get a little dust in her eye, and we have to give her eye drops because I was like, we need to get her a helmet so she has her own little cat helmet to protect her eyes. Anyway, that might be coming soon. We'll see. But yeah, we do have fun going on adventures with Higgy, and yes, there hopefully will be more of those coming soon. But yeah, if anybody has any other questions or comments or wanted to just chime in, this would be that time to just interact and everything. And once I really get this going and get my OBS software situated, or maybe I'll go to StreamYard. I was trying to do this OBS software because I just thought it was really cool and gave me a lot of different screens and ways to control the stream. If I can get that working, it's going to look a lot better than just a blank frame, which what you're seeing now. And I'll be able to pull people's comments up onto the screen and give them a little shout out. So, but yeah, I want to thank Andy again for being here. He said, "Hey, Kevin, what's up?" And he was telling me that it was 8 a.m. in the Philippines when it was 8 p.m. here in Savannah. And then he said, "We miss you." And then Mike and Janet, who have a couple different channels, also came and joined the chat and said, "Hello, this is Mike and Janet, and we're watching here." And I want to say thank you again to everybody for joining tonight. And Lady E, of course, in the island of Sikihor, right? Of course, you travel sometimes too, so maybe you could be in a different place right now. We don't know. But thank you for joining. And that is probably going to do it for the live stream. I kind of didn't have that much more to talk about. Last week, I did a whole review of almost every single video that I had posted for almost like a month. So that live stream ended up being over an hour long because I was reviewing every video that I was. So if you're curious about things that I talked about last week, feel free to go back. It's in the it's recorded and available to watch in the live tab. But most people just like these live streams so they can interact with people and have a conversation. Oh, let's see. Lady E says, yes, Sikihor now. Cebu and Boracay again next month. Nice. Okay. Oh, Boracay, I'm jealous. Oh man, that is on my list of places to go. And last December, when I came back to the Philippines again to spend time with Angie for the holidays and everything, you can ask her. I was dreaming big about going to Boracay. I was like, oh man, we should go to Boracay. We should go. And I was watching YouTube videos about people who were visiting and investigating the different areas there. What are they called? Like station 1, station 2, station 3. Anyway, and researching the best hotels that I could afford that we might be able to stay at. So I got really excited about Boracay, and we haven't been yet. We have not gone. So we did get to go to Sikihor one more time before I left and came back to Savannah, and we stayed at oh man, now I can't remember the name of the place. It's embarrassing, but anyway, we stayed at a hotel that we had some friends, some Australian friends that were visiting from Manila, and they came to the resort and said, "Oh, why don't you?" And they were going to stay for like 4 nights or 5 nights, and they said, "Why don't you come and join us?" So we stayed for 1 night. So we took the boat out there from Dumaguete, stayed at the resort, and hung out with them and had some meals together and stuff, and then I had to go back to Dumaguete because like the next day I was flying back to the US. So we didn't stay long, but we love Sikihor. We love visiting there. And I think it'll be a place that we visit often, especially when friends come to visit us in Dumaguete. So we can bring them to a fun, special place also on a nearby island. Okay, Lady E says, Kuya, maybe reply to our video comments in less than 3 years. Oh, yeah, I'll do my best. Remember, I'm new at this. So for me, the live streaming is something that I got to get better at and practice and be more smooth, right? And hopefully I will get better over time, especially with a few weeks behind me. But yeah, this is about it. I probably won't go on too much longer just because there's not too many people in here right now, and I did review everything I wanted to review. But I will say thank you to everybody who joined the live stream. Thanks for watching. And I do have a nice mic set up, and I have fancy music that I can play. So so at least I'll bring the music back and say thanks to everybody who joined. This is my go-to song that I I adopted and put on almost every video. I wanted to have kind of like a theme. Like I've got the shirt, the same matching shirt. It's all by design. I wanted to have consistency, like a branding type thing. So I want to have the same song as well until people get sick of it and tell me to change it. But I put this song on almost every video that I post now. I think except for the ones that are coming from Japan. I changed it for Japan. But it's called Marigold Seeds by the Tape Machines. And I got that song on Epidemic Sound. So it's like royalty free and I'm not going to get a copyright strike or whatever. So yeah, and it kind of makes me think of just, I don't know, the vibe is like dreamy and relaxing and traveling and just following your dreams, Maybe that would be a good theme to end the live stream on. Is everybody out there, hopefully you're following your dreams and trying to live a happy life and doing whatever you can. So that's why I keep coming back to the Philippines. That's why I love the Philippines so much, as that's my happy place. That's where I go when I think about how I want to live my life and the future that I want to have. It's there in the Philippines. So anyway, am I getting homesick already? I've only been back have I been back 2 weeks? Barely not 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And I'm already missing the Philippines, of course. But anyway, I'll be back soon. After all, the name of the channel is Kevin's Philippine Adventure. So if I'm here in Savannah, Georgia, it's not right. Okay. Oh yeah, I never said please like and subscribe, but if you're watching this in the replay, I will say please like and subscribe. I think everybody who came to the live stream tonight is already probably a subscriber or certainly likes things, but thank you for hitting the like and subscribe button and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I'm so excited about my channel growing, you guys. It's growing a lot, and I was like not prepared for how fast that was going to happen. I was assuming it was going to be really slow and take forever, but it's been growing, and everything is up. Like subscribers are up, view count is up, my watch hours are up, and it's really cool. I'm not monetized yet, but it's going that direction, so I'm really grateful. Anyway, I will close out now and say maraming salamat po, mabuhay. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you again soon on the next live stream. All right, bye guys.